just had this revelation. A revelation that the skateboarding industry, they just manufacture posers. Why's this flag always? I don't know. I know the answer. The answer is children. So yeah, I just realized the skate industry manufactures posers. I don't know why I hadn't thought of this before. But yeah, skate companies, they manufacture posers. They make posers. They breathe posers into existence. They are Skaeanostas. That's a made-up Greek word meaning skate breathed, because Theanostas means God breathed. Anyway. But yeah, just this is what I realized. It's a good thing that your self-worth is not tied to skateboarding. That's a good thing, brothers and sisters, because otherwise you might be deeply hurt by the skate industry, being lied to. It's all lies, all lies. I mean, it's not really lies. I mean, they're just trying to make a buck. I mean, I get it. But I saw this mini documentary on DC shoes. And it's always interesting to watch, anything that has to do with, the mid to late 90s and, really early 2000s or whatnot. Because at least that was my heyday on skateboarding. It's always really funny, because skateboarding was still really regional. I mean, I think it's still regional anyway, because you have a difference in geography and how things are done. But besides that, I just totally lost my train of thought. But besides that, I feel like I engaged in the culture as much as anybody else engaged in the culture, because that was, I watched some skate videos. I wasn't hanging out at the skate shop. The skate shop was 45 minutes away. So, unless I'm hanging out at Zoomies, and nobody wants to hang out at Zoomies. I don't even know if Zoomies existed when I was skating and stuff like that. I don't... Maybe, Journeys, I think, maybe. I don't know. There was some stuff like that. Some kind of, fake skate shop kind of stuff. Anyway. But, this was my, the extent of my exposure to, skate culture. Because, I could save up my money and spend it on 411 tapes. Or I could, replace the skate deck I just broke. So... there's that. But anyway, it's just magazines, CCS catalogs, and just friends. That was the extent of the exposure. And I probably spent more time skating than hanging out at people's houses watching skate videos. It just didn't really happen. So I mean, my brother and I watched skate videos, but we didn't watch. I don't think we didn't watch skate videos with other people. I don't remember ever watching a skate video with anybody else. I'm serious. It's 13 years of solid skateboarding, and I don't remember watching a skate video with anybody else besides the very brief time I was a team rider for a skate shop. And then, yeah, they would get a new skate video in, and they'd be all right, let's put it in, the VCR. You're sitting on the couch or whatnot, and you're going to watch it. So, I mean, there was that. But, I mean, I never went over to anybody's house. Anyway, my point being is that, I'm watching this documentary about DC shoes, and they're oh, they were revolutionary and groundbreaking. They did their marketing based on... gritty street style and people doing big tricks. And I don't know, I'm assuming the guy who made this is a skater. And I'm assuming that they've been around longer than 15 minutes. But you literally just described 95% of all skateboarding companies that have ever existed. I only say 95% and not 100% because you have that weird time during the 60s, like the Beach Boys or whoever singing Sidewalk Surfing, bust your bum, bust your bum. Anyway, I'm not a singer. And that was super lame and really super mainstream, it seems like, if the Beach Boys are singing about it. So I'm taking that out of the gritty category. But it's this documentary starts out, it's almost all skate companies want to be seen as tough or cool in some way. Even the ones that don't really advertise to, that aren't super hesh, whatever that means. And, it's just another made-up word for a world with made-up words. Yay, we don't have enough made-up words to describe things that already happened and already exist. How many slang terms have we gone through since I've been alive? A billion. Yeah, you can still say cool, but whatever. Anyway, so it's every company wants to be gritty or whatever, and every company wants skaters with the best tricks. That's not innovation. And then they're they want, they want to revolutionize, skate shoe construction, and then never talk about it again because DC shoes, okay, they're exactly like every other skate shoe. They're exactly like every other skate shoe. They're I lived during this time. I saw with my eyes the things that were happening. Every single brand, okay, came out with their chunky shoes. Okay? Sure, was DC first? I guess. I don't remember seeing chunky shoes first with DC. I saw with iPath and America and other things. Okay, maybe it was DC. You saw them in CC. Oh, hey, there's another shoe brand. Okay. Who cares? It was just okay, another, the only people who care about the shoe brand type thing or whatever, is that's where a lot of skaters got a lot of money. And so I guess that's why they care about shoes. I don't remember any revolutionary shoe designs in the 90s. I remember it being hey, my shoes get messed up when I skateboard. Hey, my shoes still get messed up when I skateboard. Some shoes lasted slightly longer than others. Shoes were disposable. I don't know anybody who had any sort of shoe brand loyalty because shoes are expensive and or what's on sale, what's in the discount bin. Skaters are broke. That's when the skate industry just breeds posers because skaters don't have any money by default. The only people who spend money on skateboard stuff are people who don't skateboard. People who are they're trying to make up for their lack in skill. They're trying to increase their style. Now, obviously there's exceptions to the rule. Don't get mad at me about this stuff. What I'm saying is skateboarders are broke. Your average hardcore skateboarder is broke. They break their decks, they wear out their decks or whatever, they're buying a new deck every month or whatnot, or every 2 months or something like that, depending on your skating or whatnot. I used to go through a deck every 2 weeks. like, you know, like I had to like baby deck sometimes to like get them to last. Yeah, it's broken, but I don't have any money, so like it's not broken in half. It's just a couple layers. So, you know, I'm gonna do everything off the nose now. I mean, like stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about like it just came by storm. Yeah, there were all the trendy people, all the trendy doofuses who didn't skate, that bought DC shoes because like I said, the skateboarding industry is a poser factory. It's a poser factory. And the reason it's a poser factory is because of their marketing. They market everything based on ego. They don't market anything based on actual like, hey, is this a good product? Is this deck better than this deck? Are these trucks better than these trucks? Do these provide something different? I think that's like why, like the Grind King lockers, like I don't like. Okay, is that still around? Is that still a thing? I haven't seen a video on Grind King lockers in like 30 seconds. But like that was something new. That's something different. Okay, that's like, okay, this might actually make skateboarding easier or different. Like there's something about that. Even though Mini Logo already did the weird axle shape thing, it's just not as extreme. But you hear Andy Anderson talk about it, so it's not exactly like it hasn't been done before. It's just different. It's a different iteration of that. But nobody wants to skate Mini Logos. Nobody really wants to skate Grind Kings either. But my brother skated Grind Kings for like ever until he went out of business. Anyway, but like, and I guess we never skated hard enough because his axle, his kingpin never came out. He broke it once, but it never came out. But that's the thing. Like, there is absolutely no difference between skateboard products. There's absolutely no difference between skateboard products. Like, there is what you like to ride, and you can basically manipulate all your skateboard parts to get it to be like around the setup you want, you know? Like you got steeper kicks and you like more mellow concave or more mellow kicks or whatever, then you throw those indies on there, you throw the aces on there, it makes them more mellow. You got a mellow board, you want steeper kicks or whatever, you throw the Ventures and the Thunders on there, that kind of thing. Like you could change stuff up around. You could mess, like I chose aces on my giant board just because it shrunk the wheelbase some, and it would make it more turny because I don't want it to be like super ridiculously stable. Like I'm not really liking the tight trucks anymore, even though I get it. Like it makes doing tricks consistently like 1,000% easier, but it makes landing it clean 1,000% harder. So I'm like, anyway. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like they're all the same. So the only differentiation is like this ego thing, this like the style and stuff like that. And this is what I hate so much about skateboarding, and so I'm just gonna say it over and over and over again because I don't care. And it's like, because the people that are like really into skating, yeah, some people, they got their brands and stuff like that or whatnot, but they understand that like, okay, these 5 brands have the same wood shop, and you know, it's like professional wrestling to a certain degree, where it's like, it's kind of fake. And that's the thing. If you advertise stuff based on fakeness, you know, based on a style of clothing and music, not even necessarily a style of skateboarding. I mean, it's a little bit of that. There are definitely those skateboards that are like those things that are like, oh, this is for this hip hop. You know, same thing. It's music. It's music and clothing that separates skateboard brands. That's it. It's music and clothing and graphics. That's it. That's nothing. That is empty. And that's why skateboarding creates like a ton of posers. A ton of posers. And posers are just really kind of annoying. They're just kind of annoying because they ruin skateboarding. They ruin skateboarding. Not because they don't ruin skateboarding, because people are pretending to be skateboarders, and I want to have all the skateboard credit. No, I don't really care about that. They ruin skateboarding because they keep skateboarding stuck. Skateboarding cannot branch out. Skateboarding cannot go, hey, you know, maybe we should, like, innovate. Maybe we should, you know, I don't know, market the quality of our boards, not just the picture, you know. Maybe we should expand our audience beyond 12-year-olds, you know. Let's, like, maybe we can, you know, diversify this a little bit, you know, and, like, maybe get a little more money coming in or whatnot. It's like, no, it's they have a brand and they have an ego or whatnot. Which is why it's so funny watching this documentary. They're like, oh, it's revolutionary. It's revolutionary. And it, like, a skate company broke the mold or whatever. And it's like, the only reason this is a story is because most other skate companies are, like, you know, like people in their garage. You know what I mean? Like, not that much, but I mean, like, as far as, like if you were going to compare, I bet if you were going to compare, like, you know, Ford's manufacturing or, like, Pepsi or something like that, you know, like, then, like, what is it? Skateboarding is like T-ball, you know? It's like, it's not even full Little League. It's not even like the self-pitch, you know, kind of thing. It's just, it's like, it's T-ball. Like, here's, put this, you know, it's on here, you know, like, it's small potatoes. It's just, like, not even worth it. But anyway, but because of that, you just get a ton of posers. You just get a ton of posers. Like, I was like, and here's how you know that to the rest of the world. Because here's the thing, if you do any skateboard trick in front of any, like, normie, like, in person, they lose their mind. Like, they lose their mind. Like it's you don't, I swear you could probably recycle all the old tricks for all the magazine parts or whatnot. Nobody's gonna notice. Nobody's gonna notice. Only the most diehard skate nerds are gonna notice, and nobody cares about them. Look at Kane ramps. You know, they're talking about the ups and downs. It's like, you know, oh well, the ups and downs come from, you know, we need that fresh crop of 12-year-olds to start buying skateboards, you know, and we need them to, like, keep doing that until they're 15. And they realize that they kind of suck at this, and they were just playing at this identity that we've branded as skateboarding. And then when they decide that it's not worth it, they go doing something else, but they keep wearing the clothing, you know? It's like, oh, it's, you know, like, we're going to get into clothing. Clothing is big, you know, because you don't have to skateboard to wear skateboard clothes, you know? So, it's a poser factory. Skate companies are poser factories. Because, like, I mean, think of every nightclub interview you've had, where it's like somebody, I mean, every once in a while this happens. I'm not going to say this doesn't happen. But a lot of times it's like, you know, it's like skater contest, and then whatever brand, you know, whatever brand is like, hey, you want to skate for us? And basically 90% of the time, people are like, yes, sure, yeah, I'll skate for you. Like, because they don't care. They just want to skate. That's it. They just want to skate. They don't care about the brand. They're like, you gonna give me free boards? Yeah. Man, I'll skate for you. You know? Like, that kind of thing. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So it's like, And then the skate companies, they run around and they advertise like it does matter. But it's like, but the advertising is like, oh, you're gonna skate that brand. If you do, you're gay. Like, it's hilarious. It's like it's 12-year-old marketing. Well, most 12-year-olds can't skate. Like, I teach 12-year-olds. Like, none of them can skate. Like, I could skate when I was 12, but like that's me. I had already been skating for like 3 years. But like, skateboarding. It's a poser factory. They just make posers. Like, I can't believe I hadn't realized this before. Because that's the thing, is that the skate industry is not skateboarding. The skateboard industry is not skateboarding, okay? They are, I feel like the bane of skateboarding, honestly. Because, they're not going to take, you have these skaters, and, it's just an image. It's like they're like supermodels, They're a dime a dozen. I'm sorry. They're a dime a dozen. Because there's a lot of skateboarders, there's a fair amount of skateboarders. And okay, so what? You're doing it, you're skating so that a 12-year-old can wear your shoes and pretend like they're you without actually doing any of the stuff that makes you you. It's but that's just, it's poser factory. Who has, I never met, because think of who are skaters. Who are the hardcore skaters? I don't know any, at least growing up. Maybe it's changed. Okay? Maybe it's changed since I did hang out at a skate park all day. And with people and with kids or whatnot. And here's the thing. The hardcore skaters that came from broken families. They were skating, they skated because they don't have enough money for Little League. They skated because it was the parents, it was free daycare. You're basically running a daycare for 13-year-olds, You drop them off at the skate park and you go do whatever you need to do, and you come back 3 to 4 hours later and you come pick up your kid. That was the skate park. I didn't have enough. I was broke. I didn't have enough money to, I was the top rider at the skate shop, and I didn't, I'm begging for the reject boards, I'm hey, hey, can I get a board? I skate for this shop. I represent this shop. Can I get a board? And they'd be yeah, I guess, go look through the bin of skip. Basically, you could get a discount if you traded in an old deck. And so, I would basically just, go through and look for the least messed up deck I could find. And then I would put my board on that and I would skate that. And I think we sold those for, $10 a pop or something like that. And, so it's it's poser factory. Poser factory. Nobody has any money. No skaters don't have money. So who's buying all this stuff? Posers. Posers are buying all this stuff. That's who's buying all this stuff. Posers are buying all this stuff. Now it's I don't know, maybe middle-aged men are buying all this stuff, They're woo! Skate, resurgence, respark, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm kind of glad that I quit skateboarding for a while, kind of saved my knees and stuff. But man, it's just crazy. But yeah, skate companies, bunch of poser factories. why should I be loyal to any brand if no brand is like, hey, that's, it's skateboarding. Like, you can't be, like, you can't just do that. I don't know. Maybe you can. Probably not. Because that's not how you make money. There it is. It's about the money. It's not about skateboarding. It's about the money. But okay, that's fine. Because you know what? I don't serve skateboarding. I serve God. Well, I try to. I do it very badly. Very, very badly. I need to repent on a daily basis for just all sorts of things, all the time. So, but there's grace. That's why God gives us grace. So anyway, that's the thing. Skateboarding is never going to fill that God-sized hole in your heart. Skateboarding is not going to fulfill you. That's not what skateboarding is for. I love skateboarding. I love a bunch of other stuff or whatnot. But it's going to go away at some point. Maybe not for everybody, but for you, it's going to go away. So, you're going to get old, you're going to get broken, and you're not going to be able to skate at some point. And what are you going to do? You're just going to give up on life? No. But that's the great thing about having Christ. These ups, these downs, the zigs, the zags, the left and the right, don't matter. All this, it's all vanity and vexation. All vanity and vexation. It's grasping after wind. It's an illusion. And so, if you have Christ, you don't have to worry about all this stuff. Like, I could be really mad. That skateboarding companies are poser factories. I could be, because, you're not supposed to like posers. Like, they're just beginners. Nah, man. You're a poser. Like, I'm sorry. For a while, I didn't really like. For a while, I kind of had decided that posers didn't exist. I'm like, nah, man, there aren't posers. Nobody just does stuff because they like the style and things like that, and then never do anything ever or whatnot. That doesn't exist, Like, we gotta invite everybody in, we gotta be inclusive and all that kind of stuff or whatnot. But then since starting again and thinking about it and seeing people at the skate parks and remembering all the stuff that I've experienced from skateboarding for not an insignificant amount of time, and I get people skate longer than me. But I'm like, man, there's a whole bunch of posers. There's a whole bunch of posers. There's a whole bunch of people that just spent the last hour at the skate park standing around holding their board. Like, they don't have a watch. Like, just go to the park earlier. You'll be by yourself. You don't got to worry about it. It's like with all that's like, I go to the park early so it's not crowded. All the teenagers haven't woken up yet or whatnot. And all the old people, they took their kids to places in the morning, and then they ran errands all morning, and they're going to take the kids to the park or whatnot. And like, but there's just a lot of people just standing around not doing anything. And then there's all the people arguing about stuff online, Like, crazy town. Stop being a poser. Stop being a poser. Stop being a poser. Skateboard companies are poser factories. I wonder if I could do something better. I don't know. Alright, I'm at work. I'm done. Done complaining. Nope, never. Never done complaining. Never.